On the second ceremony, the first one was visual. The second one was all about the music. Literally 3.5 years ago, I stopped listening to music. I became so involved with work and getting to work in this crazy commute and feeling that on this commute, if I didn't do something productive, I was wasting these 3 hours of my commute every day. So I listened to books on tape or on Audible. Books on tape is a very old word. I was listening to podcast after podcast after podcast, and I learned so much, but I stopped listening to music. And in the second ceremony, it was all about the music. The music was beautiful the first time, but in the second time, it was all live music. There was live music in the first one, but in the second one, there were 6 musicians, and there was one musician. His voice was both haunting and the most spiritual voice I've ever heard. And I couldn't stop listening to the music. And when I listened to the music, just like when I saw the visuals, I had to breathe so deeply because it's like my mind was so unbelievably stimulated that I had to get in more air to feed my brain oxygen. And so I've never had that with music, because I've always been a visual person. I used to be an art dealer, have an art gallery, and I collect art. So it's always been about the visual. But ayahuasca, she taught me to listen to the music again. And she forced me in a beautiful way. It wasn't hard. And, sometimes people say ayahuasca is very hard, and it was hard on some people. There were people to my left and to my right, purging their hearts and their souls out because they needed to. But I think ayahuasca knew that, I didn't need to purge. I needed other things. I needed to breathe. I needed to listen to the music again. And then after I really paid attention to the music, she delivered those visuals again that were so beautiful. But this time, oddly, they were like Japanese cartoons from the 1980s, pre-anime, but like a little bit post-Speed Racer. And I don't know, I think the last time I saw anything like this, and these were 10 times better than anything I've ever seen, on TV, were, just so intensely incredible. So she fed me up something as a gift. It was like a gift to me, because she knows that I love the visual, and she appreciated that I listened to her about the music. But then she also, it's not just that, she gives you so many insights into your own life about things that you didn't know were an issue, or you knew, but and I was trying, every time I tried to, address something with ayahuasca, what she would do is, she didn't want to address it. She put it in these black margins on the side, and they were there, and she's like, I know I see them, I know you see them, but we're not dealing with that today. Maybe another time. Which, also reminds me, it's unbelievable to do one ayahuasca ceremony, but it's so incredible to do at least 2 or more, because every time it's a different experience. And that's the beauty of ayahuasca. You never know what you're going to get. But then we went on to Bufo, which I purposely didn't really study anything about Bufo before, and I purposely didn't study a lot of stuff except I knew about ayahuasca, because I didn't want to have expectations. I wanted to, be pure in my thoughts. And then when I did Bufo, was probably the single most powerful experience of my life. It was both the scaredest I've ever been in my life, but it was also the most beautiful thing I've ever done. They call it God's molecule. And not to be cheesy, not to sound like an idiot, but I really feel like I experienced what God is. And I don't mean God as we know it, because it's not what it is. But what it also was the most intense journey I've ever gone on in my entire life, where I saw visuals, and I've done psychedelics, and I didn't know that you could have visuals like that. I didn't know that that was possible. I've never conceived of, I couldn't dream of visuals like that. And then to be flying to the heavens into these visuals that were of God, and then to just, when you, right at the moment where your ego completely dissolves and goes away, and you're at the most fearful point in your entire life, you break through. I'm still trying to discover what that breakthrough means. Is it, did I die? Was I reincarnated? Did I go to heaven? Did I come back to earth? But it was something. And I'm going to forever search for that meaning and come back to another retreat, of course. But then afterwards, I felt a sense of relief and release like I've never felt in my entire life. I experienced a calm that I can't explain. And an understanding that there are answers out there and we're just mere mortals and we can't understand it. But yet when you take the medicine, you get a glimpse of it and you can see into another dimension. And I believe that we can't be our full human beings without having experienced the medicine, because the medicine shows us as human beings how merely mortal we are and how we could have all these religions and maybe some of them are correct, maybe whatever, maybe they're all correct, but truthfully, there is something out there. There's another dimension or two or three for which we can't comprehend, but the medicine gives you a glimpse into that. And for that, I'm forever grateful for this journey. And then for the group of people that I did it with, the participants, we all supported each other through our difficult moments. And then today in Temescal, which is like a sweat lodge, but that's not giving it justice, where I went into a state of delirium and where we were being grateful to our ancestors. And I never thought this was possible, but my ancestors came to me, both my grandmother and my grandfather. And then I also realized, that there was grieving that needed to be done, which I didn't realize I needed to grieve for certain things. And I was able to grieve in this incredibly nurturing and loving space. And then today, with the cacao ceremony, which wraps it all up. And it brings together all the love and the support and the nurturing that we've worked on for this past week, was one of the most uplifting experiences. And so this journey, while it's only been, a week, it feels like it's been weeks or a month, was just absolute perfection.
Well, thank you so much, Yuri, and we love having you here, and we hope to have you back soon.
How can I not come back? The ayahuasca is calling.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.